Why?
I'm glad this is happening. God, I've waited 3 months for this to happen. A trans girl experiences her first period after undergoing hormone replacement therapy, or whatever you call it. This experiencing her first period, it's not a biological reality, but it is an imaginative reality, which by definition makes it not reality. This whole thing is borderline hilarious with a side of terrifying. Let's take a look. This comes from Libs of TikTok Twitter account. By the way, as we start the video, please note I'm not sure which version of the pride flag this is. It does not have the Ukraine colors, which is a no-no. This is the least virtue signal of all virtue signaling flags. I mean, we're not standing with Ukraine here. By the way, the version of the pride flags that integrate the Ukraine colors are my favorite thing. Why? Because they stand for Ukraine, but Ukraine stands against them, as Ukraine has very much banned gay marriage. I'm not sure if they have any sort of legalities against other aspects of the pride movement. But nonetheless, note that this period-ridden trans girl is not standing with Ukraine.
Why? Stop. Why is this thing not hot? I swear to God, if anyone says welcome to womanhood, I'm gonna lose my shit.
If anyone says welcome to womanhood, I'll lose my shit. Okay, here's what's interesting for me about this, aside from just like it's a human spectacle, but I will preface the whole thing with, I am so grateful this person has the freedom to believe about themselves whatever they want to believe, to live how they want to live, to imagine whatever they want to imagine. I'm a freedom absolutist, so I love that this person can express this. But for me, the biggest question is, can this person draw a distinction between their reality and their imagination? I don't know. I don't know if this person is putting on a show for the camera, like, hey, you know, I'm doing transition stuff, so I'm going to act like I'm having my period even though I'm not. Or is this person actually, have they convinced themselves, I mean, obviously this is a biological male, everything about this person is that, including the deep voice, the look, the clothes are obviously female. Do they actually think they're having their period? That for me is frightening. And again, I don't know. But, and again, no, like, be who you want to be. I don't care. But for me, there is a frightening reality when whoever the person is can't draw a distinction between their imagination and reality. That's where we get into the realm of mental illness. Let's take a look again.
Why?
It's so painful. You can see it's painful, but also there's a smile. It's like, I'm glad this is happening. God, I've waited 3 months for this to happen.
Stop.
Heat pack just above your testicles should help alleviate menstrual cramps.
Why is this thing not hot? I swear to God.
And this is an intense period. That's what it says here. So I guess we're having a period.
If anyone says welcome to womanhood, I'm gonna lose my shit.
It's just the deepest man voice. If anyone says welcome to womanhood, I'm gonna lose my shit. It couldn't be more confusing. For me, it'd be great if there was a disclaimer on this video like, hey, I'm undergoing transition, that's cool, and I'm just pretending to have a period. Otherwise, to me, the question is really like the mental well-being of this individual is in question. Are you actually trapped in your imagination where you think what you're imagining or you want to happen is actually happening? That is frightening for anybody. It's actually not a laughing matter, as hilarious as it might seem. And for me, this video is relevant because it gives a cross-section of what a lot of youth are being indoctrinated into doing. Hey, you don't feel comfortable inside your own skin? No, I don't. Well, you're a teenager. That's a reality for 100% of all teenagers. But The reason why you're not comfortable in your own skin is you're actually the wrong gender. Really? I thought it was just insecurity and hormonal change. No. God put you in the wrong gender. He made a mistake. He makes a lot of those, by the way. There is no God, because if you believed in God, then you might actually believe God doesn't make mistakes, and if you're intended to be a boy, you're going to just be a boy. So there is no God. It's a pretty interesting reality to live in. But the frightening part is this is what our youth are being indoctrinated to do. I believe the ideological indoctrination of the whole trans movement, there are very evil forces behind it. To me, it's not a freedom movement. I mentioned earlier, dude, I'm glad this person has the freedom to do what they want to do. But that's someone transitioning to another gender. Not that you can do it, but you can go through surgeries and hormones and then say you're a different gender. If you arrive there out of your own volition, and I don't even know what the word volition means. Violation? If you arrive there out of your own accord, that's an expression of freedom. But if you arrive there because you've been indoctrinated and subverted to think the way to deal with what's uncomfortable within my own being is to transition, now it's not an expression of freedom. It's an expression of control, because you've been indoctrinated, you've been subverted so much consciously, so much subconsciously. No longer is that an expression of freedom. That is an expression of being controlled. Nobody in their right mind would ever say mind control is an expression of freedom. No. It's the exact opposite of freedom. Me being a father for the past 2 years, something woke up inside of me where I look at children, I look at teenagers, and I believe these are very innocent people physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and it's the adults' jobs in society to protect the innocence. Children are very impressionable. Most children believe in Santa Claus. It's a made-up BS story, no reality to it, other than people who say, dude, Santa Claus is based on mushrooms. Whatever. There's no actual literal reality to the Santa Claus story, but why do so many kids believe it? Because they're very impressionable. Now, that's a harmless story. But when you start to get impressionable on children, on things that will harm them, mutilating themselves, going through permanent hormonal changes, permanent physical, surgical changes, that's our jobs as adults, to protect the children. I wish we didn't have to protect them, but there's obviously a movement out there to capture their minds and indoctrinate them into this ideology. But here's the real problem with that. Some adults aren't doing it. Some adults aren't protecting children now. That's why the term lions, a friend of mine owns a company called Lions Not Sheep. There is a reason why that's such a relevant saying now, because no longer are all adults doing their God-given job of protecting their children and other people's children. Now it takes lions to do it. Hats off to this person pretending to have a period. Dude, I gotta poop. I am pregnant. I'm going into labor. This baby's coming one way or the other. Give me a toilet. Birthing center toilet. The relevance of this video is it's a wake-up call to adults. It's a wake-up call to lions who are pretending they're sheep. It's a wake-up call because we have to protect children. Again, someone arriving at, like, I'm going to pretend I'm a girl, I'm going to pretend I'm getting my period. Them arriving there out of their own volition. Great. All the power to you. I support that. But someone arriving there because they're actually being mind controlled by indoctrination, Disney, schools, social media. I'm 100% against anyone having their mind controlled other than through the sovereignty of their own soul. I have an opinion because I love humanity. I want humanity to be free. And I think the most important part of humanity that its freedom needs to be protected is, of course, the freedom of innocence, because it can be eroded away. It can be lost without that child ever knowing it. That's why lions are needed in this world. Before we end this video, thank you for taking the journey with me. I want to thank a brand new sponsor to the JP Reacts channel, a sponsor I absolutely love. I've been using their product every day, Organifi. Freedom lovers, I'm proud to tell you about Organifi. Why? Because to me, health equals freedom. If you don't have health, you don't have freedom. And if you want freedom, you want great health. An Organifi green juice is an all-organic product loaded with vitamins, minerals, and superfoods, that helps you have great health. Now let me ask you a question. Have you heard of vegetables? Do you love preparing them? Do you love juicing? And then do you love cleaning all that crap up? Well, if you do, I 100% can't relate to you. I personally love the nutritional value of vegetables and juicing, but I don't have the time for it and all the cleanup. And that's one of the reasons why I turned to Organifi Green Juice. If you have 30 seconds, it's quick, easy, and absolutely delicious. And it's my preferred alternative to spending hours in the kitchen juicing and messing around with vegetables, doing vegetable things that take a long time. What I love best about Organifi Green Juice is how it's loaded with nutrients to support all the systems of my body so I can have great sustained energy throughout the day. Some other reasons why I love Organifi Green Juice: it contains 11 superfoods for detoxifying the body so you can feel amazing. It helps reduce food cravings and it tastes absolutely delicious. My little morning ritual is starting my day with Organifi Green Juice. It gives my whole being the command: we're starting the day on track, so we're going to stay on track, which I find very helpful. And if you want to stay on track of taking your health to the next level with Organifi Green Juice, just go to Organifi.com/JP. And while you're there, use the discount code JP for a full 20% off. Enjoy.